Last time on Town Hall 11 Free to Play, we spread some holiday cheer and stole some gold with one of the best farming armies in the game. Today we're going to play with a modified version of one of the best clan war armies of 2020. What's going on, my friends? My name is Joe, and welcome back for episode 104 of the Town Hall 11 Free-to-Play series. We're going to start out this episode by claiming our rewards from the daily holiday special deal. Now, I got to make sure that I claim these in a video. That way, for future viewers, they know where our magic items came from, and they don't think that I'm actually buying stuff, you know, because it is a free-to-play series. So we're going to go ahead and claim this free Rune of Builder Elixir. Now, here's the deal, guys. If you are working on your 6th builder, that was a huge deal right there, you know what I mean? Because you can apply that to either your cannon carts or your battle machine. Good luck on that 6th builder push, guys. It is a long road, but you guys got it, I promise you. We completed it in this series in about 3 or 4 months. So if you're after that item, work on it. You're going to get it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and claim this research potion because I need to go ahead and use that in my laboratory. We're working on our level 4 haste spell right now. And then we also have an option for 25 gems, 2 training potions. So we're going to go ahead and claim all of the deals in this episode because they're all really nice and cheap. I mean, that research potion's normally, what, 120 gems if I remember correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and use that real fast. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the content of our video today. All right, so we're going to do something slightly different today. We're going to post a screenshot of a base, and I want you to look at this base for a moment, and then I want you to go down in the comments below and tell me what army or strategy you would use to try to 3-star this base, because when I look at this base, I'm looking at a village that has a couple of single target Inferno towers. I see a couple of wizard towers that I can take out with a kill squad, and then I also see wizard towers on the back end of the village that I can use freeze spells and bat spells to take out the back half of the village and clear it for a 3-star. What's very interesting about the answers that you guys post down below is that none of you are wrong. Nobody is wrong. Everybody has a different opinion on a really strong army, and that's what's so great about the game right now. There's so many different strategies that you can use that will work for you. The only difference that you have to worry about is where you are as a Town Hall 11 in your current development, meaning what troops do you have maxed out? The player that posted that image, his highest troops were balloons and lava hounds, so naturally he should be working with a Lalo army. For us that are at a higher stage of Town Hall 11, we're going to work with different armies that we know and use the most. In this case, I would probably use the Icy 5, or in simpler terms, the Ice Golems, Bowlers, Witches, and Bat spells. Now, I understand if you watch me regularly, you're probably like, oh my gosh, not again, Joe, come on, man. Well, today we're going to use a different variant of the army because I want to try it with the log launcher instead of the wall wrecker. We're going to watch this replay first, though, for those of you out there that still do not know how to apply this army, and you still have a hard time looking at these villages and trying to figure out what army should I use, because they all vary. You can look at this base in 3 different ways, actually, correction, 4 different ways, and decide to use 4 different armies if you wanted to. Now, when I look at these villages, the first thing that I'm looking for is the Inferno towers. What mode are they set to? And so both of these Inferno towers are set to single target mode, which screams to me, this tells me to use spammier style armies like the witches and the bats, because both of those troops can overpower a single target Inferno tower. Now, when we also look at that, we see single targets. We also have to think about the wizard towers, because wizard towers will roast your spawn units. They will roast the bats, and they will also roast the skeletons that come from the witch. So we got 2 of the wizard towers on the bottom side of the village. We got 2 up here on the top side, and we also have our 5th on the far left side of the village. So what Xander's going to do here is he's going to drop one of his ice golems. Instead of bringing in an IC5, he's going to bring the IC4, so to speak, and he's going to bring a electro dragon instead. And so what that electro dragon can be used here for is for funneling purposes, getting rid of as many buildings as possible. That way you keep your troops focused inside the village. So he's got the electro dragon drop. And I think the intent here was to destroy this wizard tower here, but unfortunately the Electro Dragon had something else in mind. It's all good, you know, it is what it is. And so that E-Drag is going to take out multiple buildings with that chain value. He gets 3 shots off and he takes out, what, 5 or 6 buildings right there in that little corner? It's crazy. And so then he's going to drop the Barbarian King. And then the Barbarian King is going to destroy a few additional buildings. And then he's going to place his Ice Golems, his Wall Wrecker, and then he's going to follow that up with the Grand Warden, the Archer Queen, the Witches, and then the Bowlers. Actually, in the other way around. We got Bowlers and then Witches. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same intent. And the point here is to try to get in there, take down these 2 Wizard Towers, destroy this Eagle Artillery, and clear the Clan Castle troops. Now, it doesn't really seem to matter whatever is inside the Clan Castle on defense. If it's an Electro Dragon and your Queen goes with the main group, that E-Drag is going to get killed off really fast. If you have the super minions, they're going to get taken out really quick. In this case, we have Witches and a Valkyrie, and you will notice that they are overpowered quickly because of all the troops that decided to go straight to the center of this base. And they're going to go all the way up towards the top side, going into the town hall. The rage spells are used to keep these troops powered up and destroying basically anything that they come into contact with. They also destroy the wizard towers on the top side of the village. So this is where these bases don't do very well at all. The bat spells are used to flank in and take on the single target inferno towers, while the freeze spells are used to keep that wizard tower frozen while the bats move in and take it out very easily. And you'll even notice that he has spam freeze spell because he didn't even necessarily need it on the top side of the village. And the bats are going to go over to the other side, take out the single target inferno tower. The only thing that you really have to worry about when it comes to the bats is the air bombs. Alright, so let's go ahead and do one live out in global. One of the cool things about global is that I don't get a lot of time to plan the attack, and so we're just basically going in here with experience. Now, the replay that we just showed you a moment ago was the classic version of the army, basically using the Wall Wrecker. Today we're using the Log Launcher because I want to see if there's any major differences between the army, and we're going to use our Electro Dragon and our Barbarian King just like we would normally do with the clearance of exterior buildings. That way we could try to force our troops to the center of this base. Now, we've got the King's ability used, the Ice Golems dropped, and we're going to lead the Log Launcher directly into the center of this village. One of the things about the Log Launcher that I really like is the fact that it does damage with the log as it moves deeper into the village. Let's go ahead and get our Queen down and our Grand Warden, and hopefully we can cycle all of our troops into the center of this base. Looks like we got a little bit of a split. The Electro Dragon's trying to clear a little bit of stuff, but we're going to use that Grand Warden's ability right here to protect our troops, and our Log Launcher that did find its way into a tornado trap. Let's go and get a rage spell down for the troops that will emerge from that, and you'll notice that these troops are able to take out wizard towers very easily. So we're going to go ahead and drop our bats on the opposite side flank, and we're going to start freezing these wizard towers. That way we can get the bats in. Now, we got to make sure that we time this just right because we don't want the wizard towers roasting our bats. Now, the power of your army that's in the center of the village will assist with the back end of the village, and if they can take out additional wizard towers, it normally helps out with the process of overpowering the village. Sometimes you might have to plan it just right, use your freeze spells wisely in sections to eliminate those wizard towers, but this base fell very easily. Again, there were no Clan Castle troops, but it's where you got to get the practice in. You got to get the practice in before you go into clan war and execute it for real. So let's go ahead and take it one step further and take on a clan war style base. Now, this might be something that some of you out there might not see because we got a town hall on the outer perimeter, and you're normally drawn into this side of the base because of the town hall's placement. But if you do come across bases like this, it's normally safe practice to go in on the opposite side of the village. But again, it all depends on the villages that you're facing off against. Now, something else about this village that you need to be aware of is this one has multi-target inferno towers. So multi-target inferno towers, you can still use an army like this. You just have to be a little bit faster, and you also have to be prepared to freeze those defenses in the event that the bats come into contact with those. So let's see if we can take this one down live for you to see it in action. Now, when we have to look at this village and plan it out, we got the multi-targets on the opposite side of the village. We got a couple of wizard towers on this upper portion, and so we would like to come in on the back side of the village with our bats, and we're going to try to use our Electro Dragon and our Barbarian King to basically try to funnel and keep everything in the center of this village, but it's basically by design. Each base is different. So let's go ahead and drop our Barbarian King on this side, and we're going to drop, let's do an archer up there since the mortar's distracted, and let's do a minion here or something and allow these troops to work for a few seconds. We got the king working. We might need to use his ability. Let's go ahead and do that to try to take out some additional defenses, and I think we can go ahead and start getting some ice golems down as well as our log launcher targeting the center of this village. Now we need to give this a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and release some witches, and let's go ahead and release our bowlers. Let's get the queen down, the grand warden, and we need to get ready with our rage spells. Now it looks like the log launcher has done some damage to the eagle artillery, and we've also been able to open up multiple compartments here, and here comes some electro dragons on defense. So let's go ahead and use our grand warden's ability right there, and let's go ahead and prep up another rage spell for the center of this village. Let's go ahead and rage up this area right there for our troops. Now they're going to split and go into two separate sections of the village. We need to get rid of these multi-targets as quickly as possible. Where's my archer queen? Down goes one, almost one of the multi-targets. There goes the second. Let's go ahead and start flanking in some bat spells over here. Here we go. We got to work with our freeze spells now. Let's go ahead and time it just right. Freeze that wizard tower. We're good to go. And then our bats are going to come around the bottom side going after mortar, hidden Teslas. We got one wizard tower remaining. There's an expo that's going to fall, and let's go ahead and get ready to freeze this wizard tower right about, let's go ahead and freeze it now to protect our witches. There we go. And that's it. Just like that. Now remember, each base is different. It might not work out like this every single time, but you also have to think about the cleanup portion. We got a minute and 10 seconds remaining on this village, and we still got a town hall standing, but with the time, we should be good to go. We got a few witches. We got some skeletons going through. The witches found a giant bomb and a tornado trap, and we just lost them. So, I mean, now it's really just up to our skeletons and our bats. Let's hope for the best here. Come on, guys, please. Come on, can you do it? I mean, we got multiple things going on here. We got gold storage. We got an elixir storage, but we got a ton of bats here, guys. I mean, we should be good to go. But again, it all depends on the village that you're facing off against and your understanding of the army. This is where it's a combination of practicing out in global. I know that it's a very expensive army, but you also need to practice out there for a little bit of diversity and changing it up. And then you also need to make sure that you're practicing with your clanmates in the friendly challenges. So we're going to finish up this video with one more replay on one of my more solid clan war bases. This one does very well for defending itself, and inside the clan castle we have the super minions with the balloon and the headhunter. I wanted to show you this because a lot of players have been asking about it, and there's a lot of things about this village that says do not use witches, because we got the multi-target inferno towers, we got the wizard towers really spread out on this village, and there's a lot of buildings to negotiate here when it comes to trying to funnel. You'll notice that the electro dragon has a lot of problems trying to get in here and take buildings down because of the air defense placements. And then we also have the Barbarian King working on the top side of the village. We got to give those troops a little bit of time to do the funneling process, but you also have to be willing to flex on the army when you're doing these attacks. If something doesn't get clear, don't be afraid to try to change the plan a little bit. I dropped a ice golem and a few witches and a few bowlers on the far right side of the screen to try to clear these exterior buildings. That way the main group goes inside behind the log launcher. Now, after using this army, I do feel that the wall wrecker is a little bit better than the log launcher because the log launcher moves so slow compared to the wall wrecker. But we're going to use our rage spells and our grand warden's ability in a very similar manner to the previous attacks. We're getting into range of the enemy clan castle troops, and you'll notice that there's so many spawn units here that the super minions have a really hard time trying to pick one troop over the other, and the witches will in fact overpower them with the assistance of the grand warden. We'll use the bat spells on the flank to take down that wizard tower, but we're going to need our freeze spells to keep this inferno tower at bay. So you'll notice where there's a lot less bats than what there was on the previous attacks. This is why I will always say, if you see single target inferno towers, use an army like this. If you see multi-target inferno towers, probably the easiest option right now now would be the dragon armies, but again, everybody's different, and if you have a different opinion of that, let us know down in the comments below. But as you can see, this army is still very, very powerful, even with the inclusion of the log launcher opposed to the use of the wall wrecker. I'm gonna go ahead and speed this replay up, that way you can see the results for yourself and see the army for yourself if you have any like idea or thought process of using it. I highly recommend trying it out for yourself because it is a really good army, and I've had a lot of fun with it throughout the course of this Town Hall 11 free-to-play series. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you have not done so already, and if you like watching us every single day, turn on those notifications. If you need any additional video support or you want to see this base from the very beginning, click one of those links over there, and we will see you in the next one, guys. Take care.